Okay. Ah, boy. You know something? That teaching is filled with so much information. It is mind-blowing almost.
Am I too much?
And I mean, you could go on for 3 or 4 hours just about Acts 2.
I know. I've thought about that. I didn't mean. I mean, I knew it was going to be long, but that's why I wanted to call the halfway point. I think I did all right on that, but the reiteration parts, I'll keep down at a lower tone. But for the introduction to the first one, it's a good place to start. And I mean, there's going to be a going back to a lot of this stuff over and over again, but it's a good base.
I have a quick question before I forget. Is my mic working?
Go for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to ask a question, and I have wondered about it for a while. What is the significance of unleavened bread?
Sinless. It was a sinless. Jesus Christ was actually the sheep. He was the beaten grain that was sinless before the Lord. That was the sin offering. And that's why they ate it unleavened, because the first fruits were actually a pre-harvest harvest where they would crush the grain and do that leavenless bread. The Pentecost day was actually 2 leavened loaves to show that the Jews and the Gentiles were accepted if they converted to Judaism, that they would come and celebrate. That's why all of them had to come. And the leavened loaves with the yeast in them was a sign that their sin was overlooked and that they were welcome. They were sinful people. That makes sense?
That's interesting.
Yeah, kind of. I remember a statement Jesus had made, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees.
Yeah, that was the sin of the Pharisees. I'll read my notes because I actually got this from a good source. It says,
Well, this had come up a number of times as I've done Old Testament studies and reading across scriptures like that, and I had tried to figure out what the significance was with unleavened bread. You know, when they left Egypt, they were told not to have leavened bread, and I was wondering if that it was because they were to leave in haste or something like that. I can't remember, but there was something when you had unleavened bread, because when you put leaven in bread, it causes it to become light.
Right, rises.
It rises, and it takes time to do leaven to rise bread, and when they left Egypt, they were leaving in haste, so they didn't have time to rise bread. Had some significance with that. Anyway.
Am I on mute?
No.
Okay, let me read.
No.
See if it won't make sense. There were many hidden types in the Pentecost feast. However, we should be aware that it seems Jews did not understand the meaning of the many types associated with the feast. I'm sorry?
We couldn't hear you. Repeat that.
Okay. There were many hidden types in the Pentecost feast. Somebody's going to have to mute themselves. It's echoing. That's why. There were many hidden types in the Pentecost feast. However, be aware that it seems the Jews did not understand the meaning of the many of the types associated with their feast. During the Feast of Unleavened Bread, Passover, only one sheaf of grain was weighed, and that one sheaf was acceptable for all the people. Leviticus 23:11. This symbolized the one true sheaf Jesus Christ, was the acceptable first fruits for everyone else. During the Feast of Pentecost, there were 2 loaves of bread offered. That's Leviticus 23:17, which could symbolize the Jews and the Gentiles both being accepted to God. So that was the leavened bread where everybody was accepted despite their sin. That was the pumped up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've always wondered if that's also symbolic, because the first sin was pride. The devil rose up with pride. That's always been a question in my mind. Does it represent the rising up of pride as well? You're probably right. I'm probably.
I can see that. And these are, and I'll tell you where I got that information. I mean, I looked at about 5 different books, but that particular one came out of Shane Hyde's writings on Acts 2.
Okay. I would tend to go with that then, rather than my meanderings.
Yeah,
My brain does this sometimes.
Yeah, and Alan points out too about the puffed up sin. So it's always been yeast was a symbolic symbol of sin, and I think you're exactly right though, Don. I mean, how pride puffs us up. There's no there's no discrepancy about that in the Word. I mean, I think you're exactly right. I think there's a lot of different figures throughout the Word that's used for, and that's one of them. What you brought up and what Shane Hyde brought up.
Yeah. There's so much packed into this Acts chapters 2 and Acts 1 and 2. Because, I mean, you've got to work it with Luke 24. If you work Luke 24, it says after Jesus Christ left, they were always in the temple. If people had just read Luke 24, they would never have gotten into this idea of the upper room and, 120 people up there and 5,000 or 3,000 got saved because of it. That idea would never even cropped up. I don't think, if they had actually worked Luke 24 while they were doing it.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I mean, it's very evident. Even if you just read through Acts, you see the 12 in there, you know what day it is and what was going on from the Hebrew Scriptures. I mean, it's quite evident when they were. They were at the temple, and it was the 12 doing the addressing at the time.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. In 2:13, where it talks about they mocked them, saying these men are full of new wine, that word new, if you check it in the NSAB, they use the word sweet instead of new,
Right.
which basically makes it grape juice, not wine. It hasn't had a chance to ferment. So they were saying these guys were drunk on grape juice.
They weren't quite ready for that one, were they?
Yeah. We've seen it in our time how unbelievers will jump in there and just scoffing at, trying to stifle the word is all they're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's not good. And when it really gets sad is when Christians do it to each other. It's causing doubt. I mean, what do you think you know it all? You holier than thou hypocrite. I mean, they're.
They call me a holier than thou hypocrite. That's at least a lot better than some of the things I've been called.
Oh, that's good.
So anybody got questions, comments?
Answers?
Or are we all?
Question,
Go for
comments, or answers.
Oh, I have a comment on the road to Emmaus. He said, "What things? What things? You know, like they didn't know what was going on." Well, he'd been dead for 3 days. He could have. Yeah, he didn't know what was going on those 3 days.
Good point.
So he literally didn't know what they were talking about, for sure. Right?
Good point. Good thing to look at, I think. Yeah. I never looked at it that way before, but yeah.
Me either, Don. Very interesting.
Because when you're dead, it's like being in a coma. It's like, or you're sleeping. You know, time can go by pretty fast. You don't know what's going on. So, something I was thinking about.
Yeah, I hate that when I lay down on the pillow and the alarm goes off and 8 hours went by.
Yeah. Actually, I love it when that happens. It's when I lay down and my head hits that pillow and I suddenly think, hey, you know what that section of the word really means? It means this. Oh my goodness, I never saw that before. And your mind starts shooting off at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, this has been quite an adventure for me because I've really been focusing on this for a year, over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that oh, goodness gracious, cut to the heart many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of things that I didn't know that you pointed out was that the Feast of Pentecost wasn't longer than 1 day. It was just 1 day. So I don't know. I never thought of it like that, you know, because the other ones are all like a week long.
Right.
And so that's a very interesting truth about that particular day.
Yeah, the other thing associating that, considering how many people were actually there, you know, you're talking about 1/8 of a million people, 125,000 people there, and we see 3,000 and we get all hyped up because we don't see 3,000 people being saved. But that would be like us going and ministering the word at the Super Bowl and 100 people out of the 75,000 there believe. I mean, that's what they got. Not everybody believed that day.
Right.
3,000 was a relatively minuscule number considering what had happened, you know?
Hello.
Hey, Sandra, welcome back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I invited people in already. So, Sandra, you got any questions about the teaching?
No, not this time. Sorry. I just love hearing my beautiful voice and all you guys' voices for tonight.
Well, if nobody has any more comments or questions or criticisms or anything, maybe we should just call it a night.
I'm with it. After my
Everybody,
tomorrow's Monday.
consider these, Salah, you know, consider these words.
and show up for the revival if you're listening to this.
Right.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss today, it's easy to get caught up. You just got to do 2 segments in 1 day.
Yep.
Yeah. Or just a little bit more each day than you would have otherwise.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
1 day with the Creator.
Yep, 1 day at a time.
All right. I love you guys.
Love you guys.
All
All right.
Okay, Mike, send me an email with the which exactly you want the it to be called.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.